Water and the problems of water pollution and its lack in Iran has been talked about by environmental activists for a long time. Government has been always warned about this, but the government and its organizations always have an unprofessional attitude toward this, making things worse. Because the most important point in solving environmental problems is to create an atmosphere for research so that things can be assessed on a short-term and a long-term basis, and infrastructure investment get. Another reason that a lot of rivers face crises are because their sand from the banks is taken in an irresponsible manner. One of the most important government bodies in Iran that is responsible for this is the Ministries of Industry, Petrochemics, Agricultural Jihad. When it comes to the underground waters, we also face with the same problems. The irrigation for agricultural fields is done very irresponsibly. In Iran, we recently had wastewater was used to water certain agricultural fields, and that's why it led to a lot of poisons, vast food poisoning across society. Or wells are irresponsibly and in a unorganized manner were dug. More than 2,000 deep wells were allowed, and this is why you have wastewater being spread across the system. And when we have a drop in rainfall, we have wasted our water resources otherwise, so we face crisis. What you can see here is a picture of the pollution in rivers in the north of Iran, the ones that go to the Caspian Sea, that flow to the Caspian Sea. In the next one, you can see the Persian Gulf. As you can see, it suffers from oil and petrochemical pollution. In the 16th picture, you can see pollution. This is where they cannot get clean water, drinking water, unless on a hour-by-hour basis. Now, when it comes to the agriculture, using traditional methods and a lack of a united system, lack of using systems that are suitable to the particular geographical properties is one of the most important things that leads to a waste in use of water. Something like 92% of water in Iran is used for agriculture. You can compare this to the traditional, what you see below is a traditional method, and the above one is the modern method. You can see the difference for yourself. Now, we have talked about this before in Iran. This is why so much waste of water happens in Iran. The other point is about the management of water. When it comes to budget allocations, to the investment in infrastructure, to the education, research, and having independence, autonomy for the governmental environmental authorities. For example, the environmental organizations having autonomy from jungle ministries, from agricultural ministries, from oil and petrochemical industries. None of these organizations, environmental organizations, are able to act independently. Law has prison and heavy fines for criminals. There are actually no heavy fines or no prison time for criminals, for environmental criminals. So people can, without paying due regard to the law, can do what they want. Now, this is how organizations like Agricultural Jihad, which was meant to do certain agricultural work, has become a merchant for fertilizers, for agriculture poisons, and education about agriculture and enlightenment on this field was neglected. In provinces like Greater Khorasan, Sistan and Baluchistan, and Persian Gulf, border treaties were neglected. For example, in the Hamun Lake, after all this time, we have not been able to work with Afghanistan so that Afghanistan would be obligated to work on an environment of Hirman River, which was an important source of Hamun River. Or in the Caspian Sea, we share the sea with 5 other countries which share similar interests there, but we couldn't reach an agreement with them, on oil and gas extraction and other environmental and biological points there, so we can have a common law or anything like that. Also, when it comes to the eastern Iran, all rivers that come from our common border with Afghanistan and Pakistan, we have problems there because of the insecurities that exist on the border. This is also true in the western Iran and our Kurdistan borders. Now, because researchers and environmental activists could have used the reports published by UNDP or use reports published by native activists in Iran, they haven't done that. They've neglected all this knowledge. In 1992, there was a short-term, middle-term, and long-term strategy for wetland protection was offered, but the government neglected it, and it did not heed the experiences that had been declared to the official environmental authorities by the activists. So, the mistakes of the past need to not be repeated, and we don't have much time. As you know, Tehran, as a great city in Iran, is now in a situation where they have officially declared that Tehran will surely face water shortages, and it will probably have to face water reallocation. Now, the government has declared that water is a security issue, but environmental issues have deep roots. And if experts are listened to, if the parliament allocates budget to the water, things could be better, but the parliament didn't do that. I hope that the Iranian environment would have better conditions in days to come. Thank you very much.